Greetings everyone, this is Chef Bee, stirring up with Chef Bee live at the Peach Pantry. And we have our wonderful guest, Chef Ameerah, the Creole Peach.
Hello.
We are excited. We're going to be doing 2 dishes for you today. We're going to do one of Chef Ameerah's favorite dishes.
Yes, this is my all-time favorite dish growing up. It's called Creole eggplant.
Creole eggplant. And then I'm also going to do a butternut squash latte for you all. So we're excited that you're joining us today. Let's get started. All right, so tell us about this Creole eggplant.
This Creole eggplant. I figured since it's a little muggy, the sky opened up this morning, that I am going to do a Creole eggplant dish. Now, originally when Chef Bee asked me to join it, and now, mind you, I'm going to get started in the process, but I'm also going to tell you the story about the particular dish. So I'm going to put some oil in here. Like, what is it? Extra virgin olive oil.
Yes. That's
all right. So, when I first decided to do this dish, she asked me about doing a live food, plant-based, not live food as far as raw food, even though that's included, but a plant-based diet.
Yeah. So
that is actually my foundation and upbringing. That's not what I cook all the time. I'm a very all-around chef. I focus on real food.
Mm-hmm.
So
real
I mean,
food, real taste.
Real food, right? You can feel it.
Real food, real taste. Yes.
The dish that came up that was nearest and dearest to my heart, that my mother is the one that actually used to cook for me all the time for the whole family. Yes. I called it red eggplant. I didn't know it was a name for it. It was actually Creole eggplant. Because when I went back home to New Orleans and I saw my grandma make it, I said, "You and Mama been talking, right?" She goes, "No, baby. This is Creole eggplant." You know? Caught that real quick?
Yes, I did.
And for those of you who don't know, there's a difference between Creole and Cajun, but we go there in a minute.
But yeah, I want to know the difference because I still don't know. I still don't know the difference.
So I'm gonna get this started because we got
we
got a stews that take a little bit more time and a little bit more layering to cook. So I'm going to get started with onions, bell pepper.
All right, so we got some minced garlic here.
Minced garlic.
Yep.
I said onions and bell pepper, didn't I?
We got that too.
So I'm using about a half an onion. I put in about 2 spoons of garlic, which is about 4 cloves.
Yep.
But in the South, you're just gonna put a little extra in there. I mean, that's how you cook.
Just a little extra.
Now this is a tomato-based dish, but I'm using tomato paste.
Yes.
Now something about tomato paste I want to tell everybody.
Yes.
Don't just throw it in there and boil it like that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You gotta cook the tomato paste before you get started.
Yeah.
Caramelize the tomato a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it works best for me when I mix it in with the onions and garlic and oil in the beginning.
Yes.
And mind you, don't wear a white shirt. I mean, you can if you want to.
I'm gonna stay away.
Oh, no.
Now, you know, it's so funny. I'm from Guyana, right? And we start a lot of our dishes this way as well. So it's always a garlic, an onion, some tomato paste, some pepper,
don't get me excited.
some celery, some thyme, some herbs. So it's like it's a mirepoix. Do they call it?
Now see, that's what the French call it, is mirepoix.
Right.
And I remember going to culinary school and they were talking about mirepoix, the basis of all cooking.
Right.
And it was carrots, celery, and onions. I was like, we know in my family, the base of all cooking is garlic, onions, and bell peppers.
That's right.
But then turns out they have what you call a holy trinity.
Yeah.
Which is the Creole mirepoix.
Oh, okay.
Which is onions, bell peppers, and garlic. And you know what? I had a conversation with somebody from Cuba, and they said the same thing. That's how we start all our dishes with onions, peppers, and garlic. Everybody knows that's how the flavors come together.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
So, anywho, this is also an African style as well.
Yes.
A lot of Creole cooking, it mirrors a lot of African one pot, but we do a lot more than one pot. But there's a process of layering flavors.
Yes.
So what you're gonna see me doing here is I'm gonna take this out too, and I'm gonna do the eggplant as well.
Okay.
But I like to caramelize. Just cook it up.
Yeah.
As the onions and bell peppers are softening up, you do this with your tomato base, okay? And that's gonna get your layers going and whatnot. Now, the difference between Creole and Cajun.
Yes. Let me hear this.
Because I see all kind of people on the street wearing Cajun on their shirt, and they're a little bit brown complected, and I'll be like, oh, you may not be accurate on that scenario. The Cajuns are the people that live in the swamp.
Oh, okay.
The people that live in the swamp, they do a lot of hunting, fishing, things of that sort. They are bit to themselves.
Oh,
so what you're gonna see is gonna be a lot of the same stuff. It's a small city, right? But at the same time, we have a lot of the same ingredients and same influences. So you're gonna see tomato bases and all of that. But the Cajuns use more gamey. More gamey things. So you're gonna see more alligator. You're gonna see more deer. You're gonna see, and you're gonna see the catfish and the seafood and all that kind of jazz in there.
Frogs, all of that, right?
All of that.
Okay.
Now the Creoles are the city folk. The Creoles are also the natives. The Creoles are also the first generation of people that came off of all the different boats in the French Quarter. And you know you got Haitian Creoles too.
Yes.
But the Creoles that I'm referring to are the ones in the city. And we actually are the ones that harness the flavor. Yes, I said, we're the ones that harness the flavor of New Orleans. We are Creole. Let my grandmother tell her, oh, them Cajuns always talk about it, It's okay,
we
Grandma.
know, but we all know.
So, and I don't know if y'all can smell it. You can start to smell the browning happening right now.
We can smell it. We can smell it.
Yeah.
We can
So,
smell it.
what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take it out and I'm going to add an eggplant.
Awesome.
Right?
So we can actually use this.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then I'll bring the eggplant here. Now, it's so funny. I love seeing the connections between the Caribbean and the folks in the South, because in Guyana, we make this same dish, and you know what we call it? We call it balanje.
Balanje.
Balanje, because the eggplant that we use when you break down the eggplant, it's actually, we use like the Asian eggplants, and I know that you like that one too.
I love that
because they cook really, really fast.
Yes.
And so it's called balanje. It's very much like a stewed eggplant. It's very, very soft. You serve it. There you go. Over rice. It's really, really wonderful. So I'm gonna put this off to the side.
So I'm adding my eggplant, and I'm also gonna put some oil.
No, don't waste that eggplant.
You better believe I'm not gonna waste that eggplant.
Let me put some in there. I don't like wasting nothing.
Now here's the thing too. Eggplant is a sponge.
Yes.
So it's gonna suck up whatever you give it.
Yes.
But believe it or not, even if you don't give it any oil or whatever, it's gonna begin to get its own moisture and start to loosen its own self up. But the facts that you're listening about Guyana is so true, because I'm seeing every dish, like half of my family members in New Orleans all married Jamaicans.
Caribbean folks.
They all married Jamaicans.
Because they felt the connection, right?
And we sit there and we have a family meal, and it'll be, what's that, rice and peas? Like, no, that's red beans and rice.
Right.
What's that, jambalaya? No, that's jollof. You know what I mean? What's that? You know, we're just going back and forth. And I swear, we'll be at breakfast, we'll have grits, green banana, callaloo and eggs, you know, with a fried green tomato. And the similarity about how we get along.
Very, very close.
It's flawless. And what most people don't realize about New Orleans is that we're farmers.
Yep.
They see the city, and even though we're Creole, we're city, you're going to see our mailbox got pepper bush next to it. You're going to see the backyard got corn, cantaloupe, honeydew, sugarcane, papaya, banana. And that's why they always trying to say New Orleans folk got an island accent. But no, we don't have an island accent.
We just want y'all to have an island accent. We just want y'all to have an island accent. They're
just trying to understand us and put us in a cage.
I want y'all and South Carolinians, the folks from like Buford.
Yes.
I'm like, where y'all from?
They got gumbo too.
Yes.
And it's real
very
authentic
connected.
too.
It's so powerful.
I had a gumbo conversation at a table with some people from different regions of Africa, and I swear it was like talking to Ameerah. But how you do it? Oh, we do it this way, but we use this thing. What's that called? But we do shrimp powder. Oh, we do that too. You know, all this kind of thing. The same dish. It's interesting how studying food is almost like studying history at the same time. You're seeing the journey that everybody went through your food.
Yes. And you know, the other thing that I want to say is, you know, a lot of these cultural foods, they're not always the healthiest. And so what we're doing, like particularly like in the Caribbean, we don't always make the healthiest food because it has a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, a lot of pork. So one of the things that I enjoy doing is just kind of turning those recipes on its head and really sort of veganizing them or just making them a little bit more healthier. You know what I'm saying? So the balanje, you know, that's a no-brainer. That's already
I'm going to write that down.
Balanje.
This first time I'm hearing this, balanje.
But see, like people they'll add chicken to it, they'll add seafood to it. You don't need to really do all of that because it's so good on its own. You know what I mean? The rice, you can do basmati rice, a healthier brown rice instead of the white rice. Yeah, we got all of that going on.
My cousin meal, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So look at that. This is just breaking down beautifully. And you just got to be patient, you know, just be patient. Sometimes you know, again, this dish is going to take not more than 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
No. Once it's ready to go.
Simple.
Yes, you just got to get that caramelizing going in the beginning.
Folks say they don't like eggplant because I don't think they're always patient with the eggplant. They taste that texture. It's a little firm. But when you break down eggplant, it gets sweeter, and then it gets silky. It gets beautiful.
Creamy.
So, very creamy. So, all right, now we're adding back.
So now I'm adding back
the Trinity.
The Trinity. Yes. Y'all see that?
All that flavor.
Add that in there.
I love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
All right.
Now, do you like to put a lot of spices, like hot spices?
Well,
in
I
your
don't do it
food?
so hot because Americans nowadays can't handle
they can't handle the heat, right?
You know, even the children, they trying, but you know, I'm gonna keep training them.
Right.
But what I like to be heavy on is herbs and spices, especially the herbs.
Right.
Even though you can go too far and make it bitter.
Right.
But most people feel like when you're cooking healthier that you're losing something, but you're not losing anything.
Right.
And really, when you take all the spices and the effort that you put in your protein, like meat, then you can put the same herbs and spices in your food, and you just make sure you maintain that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
and
one
like
of the
really fresh herbs, like basils and so in Guyana we have this thing called flat leaf thyme, and then there's little small leaf thyme. Flat leaf thyme, it's full of flavor, so you can actually make a seasoning with the thyme and garlic and onions, and you can add that to any of your dishes just to enhance the flavor. You know what I mean? So I know you guys do similar things, you know?
We do things you don't have a name for it.
Yes,
you know?
There you go. Exactly.
Like if we don't have the name, what's the name you call it in Guyana?
Balanger.
We would just call it over rice. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, just cook it, put it over rice.
Something over rice.
Put the heart through it.
Beautiful.
So at this point, this is when I'm going to start adding the seasonings, and I'm going to start adding the liquid.
Good.
I'm only using crushed tomatoes. Not crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes.
Diced tomatoes.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm not using tomato sauce. It's just tomato paste and tomato diced.
How you doing?
So I'm going to add this, and then you haven't seen me add any seasoning so far.
Yes.
So I am going to, at this point, begin to add the seasonings.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of fresh herbs and whatnot. Fresh herbs you add at the end.
Yes.
Dry herbs you add close to the beginning.
Yes.
Because you have to hydrate the dry. The fresh is already hydrated, because you don't want it to lose its essence.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
So like even when you garnish in a dish, at the very end you chop up some fresh herbs, you put it on the end, it's gonna wilt, but it's still gonna hold on to that beautiful flavor.
Yep. But if you add fresh spinach in the beginning of a red bean and rice dish, you're not gonna see it anymore.
You're not gonna see none of it. It's just gonna be wild hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. So I got pretty much, there's a tradition of seasoning that every household has. I mean, if you don't have these seasonings, you're probably gonna go out and eat because you feel like you didn't go grocery shopping, right? Garlic powder.
You got the badia. Okay.
I got the big one too.
You got the badia.
Because I cook every day. You do?
Yes, badia. That's a Guyanese seasoning too.
So I'm gonna put the garlic powder. I'm gonna add about
just eyeball it, girl.
Look,
eyeball it.
Let me be as accurate as possible as I'm looking at it. That's about a teaspoon and a half. And I'm gonna do the same on onion powder. Teaspoon and a half.
So let me ask you a question. What in your perspective as a chef, what's the difference between the garlic powder, the onion powder, and then the actual minced? What do you think about?
Well, you know, for some reason, I have a hard time using mince. I don't judge people. This is just an Italian seasoning mix, herbs, dry herbs. So that's got lavender, rosemary,
That's the herb de Provence. Show them that. Show them that. It's the herb de Provence. Yes, the chef's quality. Do you see that, chef's quality? Herb de Provence. Girl, you gotta show them this stuff that you use.
I'm gonna put a little extra oregano, even though it
there.
already has oregano in it. This particular dish shines more with oregano.
Give me that. Give me that, girl. Give me that. She got the lighthouse oregano. Notice it's non-GMO.
Yeah.
So we always try to choose herbs that have that non-GMO seal as much as possible.
Absolutely.
When possible.
So another thing I like to use in this one is as much earthy and smoky things as possible. So I'm going to put some smoked paprika in there. And paprika, if you don't know, it is a pepper, much like bell pepper or whatnot, but it has no heat. And they take these peppers and they smoke it, and they give it back to us people who like to use it in our flavor infusions.
It's incredible.
So if you got a taste for something smoky, there's other things you can do to get that in there. So that's going to be about a teaspoon.
Smoked paprika.
In case you didn't notice, I need to add salt.
Yes.
Some of y'all like, where the salt at? I got it. Don't worry.
Now, let me ask you a question. I use Himalayan salt. I know you're using sea salt. Like, do you have why did you choose sea salt? What does it do for you in your dishes? What do you think?
Well, for me, there are differences in salt.
Yes.
I'm using sea salt in this because it's a juicy dish, right? I mean juicy like it's saucy and it's going to dissolve just fine. This particular salt, I have to be cognizant with how much I add because it's bigger and kind of saltier, right? So I'm only going to put a pinch at a time. Now, other salts like iodized, I will put a little bit more. It's not as salty to me. and it distributes more. So I would use that in baking.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to make a biscuit batter or whatever you're doing, and you need to get all throughout the ingredient, you can't use little rocks of salt.
Right.
You need to use the little granulated salt. So I use granulated salt, one, at the end of things, like if I'm making a salsa and I'm done with it, I need to add a pinch more
Just
salt.
like a little pinch.
Then I do a little granulated, right? If I'm anything salt that can dissolve is what I'm trying to get at. If I know that my dish can dissolve it before it's finished, then I'll use this one.
Yep.
But it's not a big deal.
Right.
You know, if you ran out of salt and all you got is this one, you know, work it out. If you're trying to bake, throw it in a blender. You know what I mean? Turn it into dust.
Yes.
Don't be so narrow-minded.
Yes.
Because cooking is about creativity. So,
Old
y'all do
Bay?
this? Y'all do this? Do y'all do
I
that
use
before?
my Old Bay. Shoot.
Let me tell you,
Of
this
course.
ingredient is listed like on a state flag, right? Don't go look that up. That's not true.
There you go.
Old Bay seasoning is a staple in Creole cuisine.
That's
New
right.
Orleans, you're going to see this in fancy cookbooks. You need some Old Bay seasoning, crab boil, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be in there. But it's one of my favorites. This is my seasonal. Now, if you don't have Old Bay, which I doubt it, you probably do.
Yes.
You could use a seasonal or something of that sort. So mind you, there's regular salt and there's a seasonal.
You gotta be careful. If you're a person that is sodium sensitive, like myself, I'm not gonna use Old Bay and a sea salt. I'm gonna use like one salt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you just gotta be mindful of what kind of person you are.
Now this particular dish, the reason I'm using two is because this is a dish that's gonna be heavy on spice. It's gonna be heavy on spice. It's gotta carry, it doesn't really have to carry, but you got a lot of herbs and spices. So the seasonal that is the seasoned salt, it has a lot of other ingredients in it, much like what we already added, truth be told. But then if you were just adding salt alone, you would have to be a little bit heavier on the other ingredients.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
So as you can see,
It's so beautiful. Look at it. It's gorgeous.
look, and let me tell you, this is not the end. This is like before you get to tasting it to see what's going on.
Yes,
Now
yes.
at this point, I'm gonna let it simmer, but I'm also gonna add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Not salt, a little bit of sugar and a little bit of vinegar.
Little bit,
Apple cider vinegar preferred.
Yeah.
But the situation with how our mouths work and the taste buds work is that you've got all these different senses on your tongue. And the more senses that you hit on your tongue, the more fulfilled you are when you eat the food.
That's right.
So you need a little sweet, a little tangy, a little acidity, a little creamy fat base. The more of these things that you put in there, the more it's going to work. So if your dish tastes a little flat, a little bland, then you need to add some acidity.
Yep.
Something like lemon juice or wine or vinegar.
Wine.
You know, I don't know, you know, vegan, you know, but we need to just be cognizant of how our mouths work so we can know how to even fix it. The tomato sauce is best to add a little bit of sugar, but be cognizant on the acidity level of what's happening with it already.
Yes.
But you just want to get everything to a certain level.
All
so
right.
at this point, I'm going to let it stew.
We're gonna
And
stew it.
We're going to need some time.
So you need this, or you gonna wait?
I'm going to wait.
Okay, cool. All right.
I'm
So
gonna-
while
I'm a
this is
little-
stewing,
yeah.
I'm gonna get started on my latte. So we're gonna do a butternut squash latte, and you know, this is the season, right, y'all? This is the season. This is the season for yummy, for warm drinks, for just like spicy, like those comfort drinks and foods and all that good stuff. So Ameerah and I are talking, we're like, okay, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? And she says sweet potato, like a sweet potato. I'm like, you know what? We don't give enough love to butternut squash. It's so good. And when you roast it, it gives this beautiful sweetness. So this morning I got this beautiful, this is just a portion of it. It's a butternut squash, and I just cut it in half, cut it in fours actually, and I roasted it off in the oven. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically scoop all of the meat out. We're gonna just put it in here. We're gonna scoop all the meat out of the butternut squash.
And people slip on butternut squash. They feel like it's all such a
slip.
trouble. It's got a light flavor, but you know,
It is really, really
when
good.
you roast it, it concentrates it, just like roasting.
Oh my
anything, it
God, it's so
concentrates it.
sweet. You can do so much with this. So I'm just taking off the skin, right? And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. But this one's just gonna flow out. I love it. Look at that. And then I'm gonna add this to the blender. So we got this going. So that's the meat. Boom, look at that. So this is gonna go in the blender, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some cashew milk. All right, this cashew milk is unsweetened, and I'm basically gonna measure out about 2 cups of cashew milk. All right, and I'm gonna add it to my blender. All right, and then I'm gonna take some coconut milk. Now, Ameerah asked me earlier, well, why are you using 2 kinds of milk? I love coconut milk. It has like this really beautiful, it just reminds me of home, you know? And when I'm thinking of something lovely to drink, you just gotta have coconut milk in it. Coconut cream, coconut milk, all of that. So we're gonna add that. All right. Then we're gonna also hit this with some pumpkin pie spice.
What's in pumpkin pie spice?
So it's basically nutmeg, you got your cinnamon, you got some star anise, you know, things like that. That's gonna, it's kind of just like a blend, right? Smell. Smell. Yeah. So we're gonna add that. All right, I'm gonna reserve a little bit. And then we're gonna use some raw sugar. We made a simple syrup with some raw, this is organic raw sugar that we concentrated. So I'm gonna use maybe about half of this. This is gonna give it the sweetness that we want. Okay? And then the last little we're gonna use, you know I gotta bring it in, you know, some cardamom essential oil. All right, so this is
Chef Beee. You can see that.
Yeah, so this is some cardamom essential oil. You smell that?
Any essential oil?
Really, girl, not any essential oil. We gotta use some doTERRA essential oil. Why? It's food grade. You can ingest these, and they're really, really potent and powerful. So I did like 2 drops. That's all we need, 2 drops. All right, and so now we just gonna blend it up. Now let me say something about this latte. What we can do is we can add this. Just turn it down. Look at that. We could add this, we could heat it up if we wanted to, or we could just serve it like this. It's up to us. Turning it up. Get all this goodness on the sides. Can't waste my pumpkin pie spice. Taste to see if it's sweet enough. All right, let's try. So you know, like during the season, all these other things that I added to this didn't really have a lot of sugar, so the only thing is our raw sugar. Oh my God. Oh,
You can't act that one out. Hold on now.
I want you to taste
Can I
this.
take?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Those of you who are not out here with us today, you should have came.
Snappy snap.
That's really nice.
Oh snap! Oh
that
snap! What in
That's
the
really
world?
That
Come on!
cardamom is really popping.
Yeah, girl.
That cardamom is really popping.
Yeah.
And how many drops did you
I
use?
did 2 drops.
2 drops.
2 drops of the cardamom. So this is the butternut squash latte. Bing. Oh my God. Nuts. Nuts. All right, so I'm not gonna go all into this just yet. I want to get back to that. That's my contribution.
That's a good contribution.
Now
And
look,
it's vegan.
look. You can do this at the end. We could hit it. Boop, 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 boop,
Make
boop.
it purdy.
Chef
Boop,
Beee.
boop, 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 boop. Right?
Purdy. And what some people don't realize is that coconut is so rich in fat that you can take the fat off of coconut milk after you've chilled it and make it into whipped cream. And it still be vegan.
Yes,
and
yes.
you pop it on the top.
Ah.
And you get a little in your mouth. You sprinkle it on the top with it.
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you drink this warm?
You can drink this warm, absolutely. We can basically take this and warm it inside of a pot. If you want the temperature to be a little bit warmer because it's chilly outside. Today was a rainy day in Atlanta. Or you can just drink it. Chef Ameerah is drinking it. You can do what you want. This is the latte. The butternut squash latte.
This is nice. It's smooth, rich, and creamy.
Isn't this lovely?
And it's not overbearing. Like, it's
Yeah.
not too much on the
It's not too
cardamom,
much.
but you can really taste it.
And look, I didn't use all the sugar.
It's not even, yeah, you're
But damn,
right.
I
It's
didn't
not
use
even
all the
over
sugar.
sweet.
See?
It's not even like
It's
you
all
need
the
some
natural sweet. Come on. All right, now, come on. I want some of this.
All right. I got to get on that level, right?
Yes, you gotta get on this level. Come on. All right, so look at this.
So we're about to do our finishing touches.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Like I said, let that stew down a little bit.
It's so pretty.
And also, you want to get the caramelization. The caramelization is something that's actually a seasoning
Yes,
that's in the food.
that's true. The sugar.
When you get those sugars and those browns in, it kind of makes it even more of a heartier and heartier taste. So that's why while we were sitting here enjoying some of this butternut squash latte balls, okay? Balls in your face, because I'm getting some more.
Yes.
This thing was cooking away,
So good.
caramelizing. Y'all can't, is it smell-o-vision yet? Did it?
Almost.
Do the phones have smell?
We working on it.
All right, anywho.
We working on it.
I still need to add a little sweet to it.
Okay. Do you want some of this, or you want some of this?
No, I do.
Yeah, you do.
We already made some simple
Yes,
syrup.
good.
I was about to add some granulated.
There you go.
But I'm going to add a little bit of sweet and a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
So that was like maybe a half of a tablespoon. That wasn't much.
No, but see, you can always
You can add a little bit
You can
more.
always add more,
Right.
but you can never take it away.
Exactly.
So it ain't nothing wrong. We're putting a little bit at a time.
Yep.
And then I'm going to also add a little apple cider vinegar because we're balancing the acidity in it.
Yep.
I got to stir it up. Find a spoon. You know, I have some.
Okay, I can just rinse this out for you.
Thank you.
Come on now.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
got you. Okay, you can use this.
Y'all see that? I can't fake this color.
That's so pretty.
And this is not tomato sauce that you get at the grocery store and just pour it in. You can build the flavor up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that complicated to do. Like, I could have went red above.
I could even smell a little bit of the apple cider vinegar. I can smell it's really good.
I'm gonna add. The vinegar is there. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more sweet, like we said. You can always add, but you can't take it away. I might add a little fresh rosemary and at the end here, and some green onions.
Okay, do you want me to cut up anything? I can pull some of this off. And then we could cut up a little bit of the green onions. How many of these do you need?
We could just take
Is this good?
2. And I like to use the whites and the greens.
The whites and the greens? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people, I don't know, they're biased about one or the other. I believe in equality for green onions.
Well, you know what? When I'm making like avocado dishes, like a salad with the avocados, I like to use the greens. When I'm cooking, I like to use the whites and the greens. So, because you know the green is more garnishy.
The green is more garnishy. The white is more oniony. See, that's why they belong together.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
So, I got a little fresh rosemary out the yard.
All right, there you
Cut
go.
a little bit of this up, toss it up.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Chef B, feel free to toss it in if you want to.
Awesome.
I won't cut you. And this is a rough chop. It don't need to be real fine.
That looks good.
Rough chop.
Very nice.
There we go. So at this point,
Smell all that herb.
I'm not missing nothing.
It's like very, very. It feels like it's gonna be meaty and delicious and rich.
Right.
And fully, real filling.
Right. So here we go.
This
I'm gonna
is it.
serve you guys up a plate. I
Okay.
got some rice. I'm gonna show you the final product right now.
Yeah. All right. So we got some rice cooking in the rice cooker, right? What kind of rice did you use?
I used a basmati this go around.
Yeah,
like
I love
the fragrant.
basmati.
I do.
Fragrant rices.
It's
Yeah.
very fragrant, very flaky.
Yeah.
I grew up with this dish using brown rice.
Okay.
It also, I love brown rice, but you got to plan, to make, to make the brown rice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But either way it goes. Either way it goes.
And for those of you who, like folks who are diabetic and they really can't deal with a lot of rice, you can even serve this with some quinoa.
Yeah. You can.
You can do quinoa, you can use some farro, there's some alternative grains. You don't necessarily have to use rice. So,
Matter of fact, you don't have to serve it with any starch.
you could just eat it like
You
this.
can eat it straightforward just like this, or just a piece of bread. Like the options are endless. The point is for you to see this concept of this dish, figuring out how to layer the flavors, layer the herbs in there.
And then do your thing.
Do your thing. This was Mama's dish. I mean, she would put this on the
She
stove.
would be proud.
We didn't eat it with me, We did not eat it
Very
with me.
beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. Awesome. All right, and then we got our rice coming.
I got some rice. When I get started cooking, I just take the rice cooker, throw my rice in there, a little herb, a little salt. That way it's gonna be ready by the time dinner is ready. Just put a little bit in the middle. And you
So
don't
I
need
like
a lot.
this. So you don't even do. It's more salt stew than rice.
It's more stewed in rice.
It's more stew than rice. You could do that. I love it.
If you want to be a little fancy and do a little shishi la la.
Yes.
I'm not finna do like the Cajun emerald and be like, bam! I just did it. I did it. I can't believe I did it.
Bam!
But anywho,
So
a
crazy.
little bit of that, and you're good to go.
Look at that. All right. So today we made you this beautiful eggplant Creole dish,
Yes.
and then of course we got the
Latte.
butternut squash.
Y'all
latte.
missing out on the latte.
So thank you so much for coming through today. We appreciate you. Guess what? We're gonna be back here next week, 1 o'clock. Stirring it up with Chef Bee and friends. We have some other good stuff coming up. Thank you so much for being here.
Bon appetit.
Peace out. We talk to you soon.